Hello everybody, my name's Tris and this is Double O'Neill. This channel is about model railways and I'm looking forward to talking to you about my progress on my journey with the model railway. And if you haven't already seen my channel, you'll be able to look at all my past videos about my progress in learning more about the hobby and developing my loft layout. So we're going to talk a bit about that today. So we're going to be looking at the platform and how we go about adding the bricks on the side as well as the platform top surface, and that's been on my mind a lot throughout all of this, and I think I'm pretty happy with how I managed to end up, so I'm looking forward to showing that to you. But to work it all out, I headed over to Severn Valley Railway and I wanted to have a look at the brickwork there because I just want to make it kind of look reasonably realistic. I've seen some pictures online, I've been to various railways, but until you go and see it, you can start making up, those decisions. And if you haven't gone there and you haven't gone and almost felt it, it's difficult. So I will have some footage in here as well as some shots of engines going. They had 3 different logos going. They had a 15XX, a Pannier, and then I think a 2MT. I might be wrong. I think that was the 3 that they had, and it was honestly really good. I got the GoPro out, and as well as my camera, and I've got some different shots going on, so that was really honestly wonderful. And then I'll be able to talk to you after the platform stuff about a little purchase I got when I was at Bewdley, because I headed over from Kidderminster over to Bewdley because I wanted to get some more shots of a different platform because I wasn't actually able to see the Kidderminster platform. And yeah, and I just had some fun, but I'm going to talk to you about that in a bit. So that the 2 main things of this episode, and I'm really looking forward to showing you more about it. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at the platform at the edge. So I'll pop some shots in here now. You'll see that obviously on some parts of platforms we have the ledge that hangs over the brickwork, where some of it goes up and meets it. It's very square on. There's no kind of T shape anymore. And so that's really interesting for me to look at, to think, well, that's kind of the nicest way of me doing it with adding the plaster in the top, as I wanted to make sure it's happening in, let's say, the real form, and so I make it prototypical, as we hear from time to time. And I just thought, well, why not? Let's have a go at doing it a bit more like the real railways that you see. So that was great. And whilst I was there, I was getting footage for like future videos. I was looking at signals, I was looking at point modding. I was really interested in the different elements that were on the railway that maybe I could incorporate, which would make it really fun. The next stage of the railway platform, that is to put the bricks up on the sides. And if I'm honest, I've been putting us off a little bit because it's been quite warm up here this week, but we had a small spell, which was Friday yesterday, where it was a lot cooler, and I thought I'll come up here this morning, Saturday morning, and get some work done. I've been looking at the heights of the railway, and I went over to Severn Valley Railway. I actually wanted to go on the Kidderminster station, but they didn't let me, unfortunately, because I wasn't a paying customer in that way, but I still bought from the gift shop and that. But I went over to Bewdley, who kindly let me go on, and I wanted to look at the coach heights as it came in. And it always looks like this lower bar that we see on the oh, you won't be able to see, but there's you've got the doorway, and then you've got just below it this little step, and you can see that whenever. So what we do is we zoom in. I'll just get you at a good angle. There we are. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. So you've got the door and then this lower edge here, and so what I want to do is I need to come up a couple of millimeters from here. What I'm thinking is I might even go slightly above with the plastic card, and then because I'm into my kind of overcomplicated ways, I might make a knife blade on top of a little wagony thing that can run along and get the edge exactly the same height all the way over. So yeah, so I need to come up a bunch, but I need to figure out what that is. But I'll have my coach on hand to kind of help me gauge that. And what I'll probably do is start with the harder side first. You won't be able to see it, but I want to work out all my strips. And I'm wondering, do I paint them now and then touch them up later and then stick them on? Or do I stick them on, paint them up, and then, you know, which way around do you do it? This side, I'll see if we come back to the normal view. This side will be a lot easier because I can paint it from here if I have to, though I do want to miss the track. But yeah, the other side, I want to be able to film from the other side, so yeah, it needs to be there. And after all that's done, I'm looking to plaster, you know, all that gap, get it nice, and then paint it in. So I guess let's just have a go. You'll see how I get on. I'll speed it all up and you can enjoy that wonderfulness of the, let's call it a time lapse almost. And yeah, what will take me probably a couple of hours, you'll see in about 2 minutes, I'm sure. What I will say is I've got this plastic card board which has got a brick embossment on it. It's only like a brick colour, which is cool. I don't know if I'm going to end up having to just put a wash in it, and you know, do we really need to paint it? But I'm sure you do. But maybe I tackle that another time on the painting, but I'm not sure yet. I feel like I just need to stick it on and then I'll think about how to paint it afterwards. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine, he says. But no, it's very thin. I'm hoping it's really easy to cut. It feels like it will be, but the nice thing is it's flexible, so I'll be able to wrap it around those bits. I just need to straighten up the edges because they're not perfectly cut straight in line with the bricks, so I just need to make sure that's all nice. So when we go on there, should be good. I've got 3 sheets of this, so I've got 1, 2, you know, 2.5 strips to do that. So 3 sheets should do my main platform, and if I run out for this side I can always pick up more. I've got this from the Northampton, well, the model shop on Mellingborough Road. I popped there and here's some sheets. They're about £3 each, which feels like quite a lot for a bit of plastic, but at the end of the day they had to make a tool for this to be moulded from, and they probably don't sell absolutely tons of it, so yeah, I guess there has to be a price to pay for that. But yeah, I'll stick it on with Yoo-hoo. I've only got so much left, so I need to nip to the shop and get some more. Yeah, so let's crack on, and well, I keep saying cracking on, but yeah, let's crack on. all the brick is laid. I guess you could say we've laid bricks. The biggest challenge for me was to try and keep the heights the same all the way around. If we look in here, I don't know if you'll be able to see close. I aim to have the small bricks close together, so you can see here, and I try to match that everywhere. So if the keen eye was looking at it, you'll be able to see small bricks at the top. Let that focus, and you can see that there. Doesn't want to stick, does it? Let's focus that channel. Yeah, so that's all the way around. So hopefully it looks good. The biggest problem I had was I ran out of Yoo-hoo when doing it, so I switched over to super glue, some thick stuff, but it takes ages to dry. Apparently it dries in 60 seconds, but I guess it depends how much you put on. But I've put it all the way around and stuck it on. I went for 21 millimeters in total. That's because it gave me a nice line when we did it. If I just zoom back, there we go. You can see my big finger there. Anyway, so my next plan is to put the plaster in. If you want to see a coach on it, just for reference, it's hard to see from this side. If I bring one around here. Okay, so if we bring that down, you can see the height of the platform there. Sorry if I was a bit loud just then. If I put the coach on the outside, you'll be able to see how high all of this got. So just put that on here. Alright, if I just bring this angle down, you can zoom in there. You can see when they get out, they step down slightly, just like when we go to preservation railways, and see how it goes there really. So honestly, pretty happy with that, and it went very easily. Like, it cuts nicely. I used a sheet and a half to do all of this. You know, there's quite a lot here. I can imagine I might need another piece for doing the last bit, but I reckon I might be alright with my last sheet and a half, so I've got 3 sheets in total. Okay, let's have a go at plastering. It's really hot up here, so I think it would dry nice and quickly. But the main thing is hoping it doesn't crack. But it says that it's crack and shrink resistant, so we'll find out how true that is. Otherwise, we'll have to redo it. Looking at this, you can see I've got my holes and gaps and stuff in from the first layer, so me sanding it a little bit already, and I need to sand the rest of it really. And then I'm going to put a thin layer. I'm thinking, I don't know, instinct's telling me put some PVA glue in so it's like solid. This is meant to be non-cracking, but I put a lot in. I think it's because there was quite a thickness that it's cracked. But ultimately, moving around to this bit, you know, this it could be a really worn out station. You know, it's been 100 years. That's why it's looking like that. But now we're going to fill in all the cracks and we're going to make it look really smooth, and it's going to be really good. So I'll crack on with some sanding and we go from there.
I'm on my last layer now. It's basically, it wasn't even a third skim, it was kind of putting the filler into the holes in the places where it needs to be. And what I found, a technique which I guess other people might already do this, I don't know, but because the sanding, I use that to take the tops of things off. With my sanding block, like just here, a bit lumpy, I work my way, so I take all those harsh high spots off. But I don't try and dig in too much because I don't want to create any, well, the lines. So I'll just take off some here. Take off the main lump of it. Because what I found, I was using a steel rule, as you've been seeing me do already. So I've got some thread on there. When these are made, and this is a reasonably old one that I've had for a few years, you get somewhat of a burr on the edges. Even a sharp edge on the bit that doesn't have the burr. And you can use that burr to act as a scraper, and you can actually get a really smooth level surface because you've got that straight edge. So use the two plastic sides, which it does take a little bit off the plastic and it kind of burrs up this edge a little bit, but you can run your thumbnail over and that cleans it up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you scraping, because I think that it's better. So what I do is I drag it along. And it makes these nice chips, and you'll notice where the high spots are from when it's lifting it. So as I'm looking on here, it's not touching both plastic bits here, so I go at an angle and I scrape it till I'm happy. What it means is I get a surface that I can't achieve when I'm just sanding. Maybe I could if I was using 600 grit, but the problem is the sandpaper fills up so quickly. And the one thing to imagine and remember, that I say that to myself, is that even if I have little areas which aren't perfect, they could resemble more of what was on a real railway at the end of the day. We get these weather-worn bits where concrete wasn't as nice, and you get these rises, any small pits and holes and bits in the texture. Well, that's arguably prototypical, right? You see roads and pavements now that were only laid a couple of years ago that are kind of falling apart. So that's why I like to think about doing it. And so some bits I'm not going to go back over because I feel like it won't represent what it needs to represent. So I'll carry on scraping and we should be good. The platform is done. I'm happy with the surface finish. I've got like some little tiny holes, but I think when I'm painting it, it'll be alright. Work my way down, you can see the different colours from when I've added new layers and mixed it up. Went for a thinner layer for the final layer and touched in some last bits with the thicker filler on the tiny holes. It worked out alright. I enjoyed the scraping process of, well, using a rule. but I think we've formed an arguably nice surface. It's all one. I don't want to have a joining line on it. See my engines with the right height. Looks good, right? Really pleased with that. And yeah, so the bricks are done. There's my pannier coming through. He's the only one running on DC at the moment. A little bit lumpy, this one. I was thinking he probably needs a bit of a service, a bit of an oil. I cleaned the wheels before recording. But yeah, so that's that. What I'll do is just give you a little shot of the pannier coming round from the side, you know, like the front of it coming towards you, which I'll do over here, and you'll be able to see how close it's getting, and it's looking smart.
For me, it was wonderful seeing the 15XX going, and I know Rapido Trains are making one, and that's going to be amazing. I'm definitely going to order one of them. I guess there's a pre-order. Maybe I should be getting on that bandwagon and going from there, but fine. So with seeing them going at Bewdley, but that was the 15XX. It's the only one that came through while I was there. I was on my way out, you know, I had some really nice time, you know, taking different footage of different things. It was honestly wonderful. And I saw a little shop on the way through, and I managed to pick up a little loco. They had like their normal little, not normal little, but their like merchandise section. So I popped in there and I've got a little train. I've got let's grab it. It's just up here. It's a Centenary, it's Hornby Collectors Club, sorry, I say Centenary, but Hornby Collectors Club 040, Centenary year Hornby logo. It was £12.50. I thought, why not? The thing looks brand new. Let's have that. And I understand that must have been donated to them, and they're selling it on. So I don't know. I just thought, why not? And I thought that, you know, I've got a bit of a steal there. I've done really, really well. And I go to walk out, and I spot in another coach they have, is where they have the little shops in these coaches, and like loads of model railway stuff in there. So I popped in, and I was like, oh, this is great. There was some Hornby 00 bits. I'm getting bits from my dad at the moment, so I was like, brilliant, and it's in great condition. They had various old Triang bits, some old Hornby bits, and Bachmann. And it was brilliant. Like, I think I saw a load of Lima bits and bobs, and a load of HO, like the diesels and bits and bobs kicking around. And the more I looked, the more I found. It was brilliant. And yeah, I picked up lots of odds and sods, and things that I don't really need to talk about on the video, just things. One of them was quite funny. I saw this, a Hatton's wagon. I just thought, great. So I could have a Hatton's wagon going around. I guess they did that a long time ago. This is a Daypole one in their old packaging. So I thought, why not? And yeah, so I got that, and I got myself a Bachmann C-Class, which was brilliant. It's a Southern Railway loco. It was in black. I don't really have many black locos. And the price was absolutely fantastic that I saw it going for. I thought, I've got to get this. It's 6-wheel pickup. The tender doesn't give it pickup, but it's got a DCC compatible 21 pin decoder in it, so I was able to get that together. So that was cool. And yeah, I just came away really happy. I bought myself some trying wagons, 00 bits for my dad, and it's in the old Hornby 00 bits. I got myself some different things, and I spent quite a lot of money. And all the money is going to I took the bit of paper that they had. It's all in aid of the Earlstoke Manor Fund. Said that wrong, didn't I? Oh my God. Earlstoke Manor Fund. And they're trying to get money together to fund, restoring these old engines. And that's why I spent a little bit more than I planned to, because it's nice to contribute in some way. And I came away with some brilliant locos for what I felt were great prices. Well, I got one loco in that one, but lots of wagons and bits and bobs, and I even got myself a backroom coach to go over some ones that I had before, and it was in excellent condition. So if you're ever in Bewdley, it's a beautiful place. Go visit their station and pop into the shop and, go get yourself a bargain. In a way, you're contributing to, getting these bits going. People donate also to them, give them old collections and bits, so then them as a charity can get some more money together to go towards getting this manor going. I'm looking at the piece of paper there just to remind me. So yes, what we do is we'll go and have a look at the manor, and we'll talk about what we want to do with it, because I wanted to weather it. I wanted to put people inside as well as put a real coal load in, and then finally put a DCC chip in it and run it on my layout. It looks pretty much new. It's really good condition. The box has been battered a bit, but none of the fittings are on there, and I was honestly really pleased. I don't know anything about the C-Class, if I'm honest with you. It's something that I don't really know much about the Southern engines at all. My brother's told me bits and bobs here and there, and I'm learning bit by bit. But what I wanted to do was fit the fittings, and I wanted to weather it, put a whole coal load in there, a proper one, because this looks a bit rubbish. So if we take that out, well, we'll get the loco out first. Right, there we go. The loco's a tiny bit dusty from wherever it had been before. But if we look at that coal load, it's not the most good looking one that's out there. I don't even know, I'm going to get that off. There we go. So now it's got a solid top. I don't think this has been DCC fitted. They showed me it running. It looks like it's DCC ready. I believe it is, because it's even got a thing for a speaker just down here. So I'll get on with kind of giving it a clean up, and I want to weather it, like I said, put the coal load in and just go from there. Okay, there's quite a few pins on this one. I'll have to learn a bit more about what that is then. So, how many pins is this? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it's 22 pins on that. So I guess I need a decoder for 22 pins. I guess you could rewire it. Got a weight there. If you look inside the cab area, it looks really nice, honestly. Quite impressed with that. It's quite colourful. It's got like, a lot of copper going on, which is nice. I'll put that back together. I need a 22 pin decoder for it. So I need to pick one of them up, order it online, and we get that fitted. Go from there. And there's many options of where I can get these things from, but for now I'll put it back together because it will run on DC fine. And we'll look at doing our coal load, make that look nice. Okay, so one thing that I'm conscious of is not wanting to get loads of glue down here, because that's where the top of the chip is, and down here. So I'm going to use a tiny bit of tape that I've got here.
I'm going to slice it and then stick it over the top. I'm hoping that will seal it off from the super glue. Well, not the super glue, just the PVA glue that I'm going to be using on it. So we'll just cut out this little strip. We'll lay the bigger one over here. And I use neat PVA glue around this area when I do it, so it seals it off. Works, right? And then this other one over this, and this is the back of where the coal will go. Hopefully we don't spot that, so what I might do is paint it black. Could be a nightmare if that ends up being, well, seen. So let's get some black paint on it and it'll be good. Just got some Vallejo stuff here. There we go. There's one. And then we'll do the other one. Though we shouldn't be able to see this one because I'm planning for the coal load to be quite high. So whilst we're letting that dry, it shouldn't take too long, it's a warm day. I've smashed up a piece of coal that I got. And obviously we've got these big lumps, but we've got these nice small pieces which I'd like to put in there. We can spatula them in. But what I thought I'd do is I'll structure it to begin with, opposed to just dumping in loads of glue afterwards. I'll put some of this, well, this is Gorilla Glue, but basically PVA glue for what's to come out the end. It bungs up quite a lot, this one. Even though there's a pin down there, it's never too happy. I can actually use the bigger end to begin with. This is for the bottom layer to stick on, and then later I'll add some more, and we use isopropyl alcohol to be our friend and make sure it sticks all the way through. Right, clean my brush and get this coal on. Use the back of the tweezers to put it on, really. We can just delve through here, find what we want, and drop it on. Try and get the bigger bits to the top. I guess in real life, or prototypically, it would never have been like they put it on in a way that it was perfectly uniform. Right, so what I do now is I've got some isopropyl already in here, and I think last time I put some of this on, and then I'm going to run some watered down PVA glue inside it. Alright, this is my runny glue now. Hopefully this works a treat. The question would be, there would be coal around here as well, wouldn't there? If we disconnect that there, we'd really want to add a little bit right out the front. So what I should do with the paintbrush is carefully put some glue on. They have bits all over here, wouldn't they? As well as down here. And if I could get the dusty bits. And that's that then, if I give it a tap. I guess, would that be realistic? I guess you can tell me. So these guys came from Monty's Models. I can't remember where I sourced them from, but either way, I've got them. Flashing is very minimal on them, but using a file and that, you need to make sure the feet are flat for when we do our super gluing in a bit, because we are going to super glue them on by their feet. Sorry guys, you're just going to have to stand there for forever. So I've got some primer from Rail Match. I like to use this and paint it all on by hand. Kind of enjoyable as a process. It's had a good shake. Peel off the excess paint. And I'll cover them in the paint. So something to practice with, I want to be able to run the airbrush along the side. I want to make the bottom bit dirty, so I'll come across, okay. It's my Iwata Neo airbrush. I've been enjoying using that. So I want to practice that on something, it doesn't matter what it is, because I don't want to go and ruin the engine. And then I also want to make the top of it kind of look a bit older and dusty, so we'll see what happens. But what I'll do is, I'll get some, I want to make the bottom of it dirty first, so I thought start with that, and then the top of it we can dust with something that's slightly greyed afterwards. So if that makes sense, it's not black, it's not completely grey, I don't know, it's new to me, but I've got some paints that I thought I can use, like weathered black. Maybe we can spray some of that over it, maybe that's what I need to use, who knows. So I'm going to go for frame dirt to begin with, so I'll just mix some of that up and we'll just spray it on to see how well it comes out. What I'll do is I'll spray some on here just to get an idea. Okay, so that's going on alright. I feel like my air pressure is too high, but we will learn. And now I'm going to have a go. I want to do the wheels. And then I've got my little 9-volt battery. There it is. Got my 9-volt battery, and I'll make the wheels go round again and do that. Next up I'm going for some roof dirt, which will be good, which will go on the top half of it. I'm going to see if that kind of mats it down a little bit. Okay, so I'm worried about doing too much, but I thought I've got some weathering soot, so I felt that I should put some in around the chimney. Though I don't know if it's even going to take. See if we can brush it onto the chimney top. We can streak it down a little bit. Get some little lines going. As well as from where they've opened up the front of here, I wanted to put some around here to make it a bit more, and brush off the excess. Okay, that's kind of nice. Right, that's on there. What else do we want to do? I think I need to do it on from the top of here, and then basically I can brush it down each side. There we go. Work our way back. I can imagine when the engine's being used a lot, the steam's coming out, lots of soots come back on it, and then it rains. So then you need to simulate that with these powders. It's good fun, isn't it? So I like a little bit more running down the sides. It's hard to replicate, isn't it? Try and get that a bit better. Just a tiny bit inside here. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to put on. The one thing that I have seen is where they wet the brush ever so gently and then make it look like it's been streaking slightly. Might have failed with this a little bit. Hopefully I haven't just ruined everything. Right. Looks alright, doesn't it? Looks reasonably weathered. What I do need to do is, I'm guessing, I need to put a coat of varnish on it. Okay, now that's all dried up, I'm going to use my matte varnish by Vallejo, and I've thinned it down quite a lot, and I'm going to spray from a bit of a distance. Okay, just to try and seal off what we've done today. Just to stop the airbrush bits going anywhere. Not airbrush, but the powders. So now I'm just going to stick my little man in. Obviously this would be the driver. hopefully it will stick. I'll just put him down. Just here. So one of the last steps, apart from putting the decoder inside, is to put one of these loco lamps on, and I think I just stick it to this front edge here, right? So I'm just going to make sure that's clean. Put a dab of glue on the back of one of these and stick it on. I probably need to make it look a tiny bit dirty, but I'm assuming, yeah, they're not going to be as knackered as the engine because they'll be coming on and off and stuff, right? So yeah, we'll stick it on and see how it looks. Okay, so I'm actually very happy with this. It's got the little loco lamp, so I guess people know that he's coming. That's smart. And if we get the rest of it in focus, we've got our loco guys in there, the driver, the fireman. That was cool. We had fun with doing all the work with the weathering. That was fun. Very basic, you know, I'm not, claiming to be any form of expert, amateur or anything, but I've had a little first go. I've gone in safe with the sleeper grime on the wheel kind of area, and then the weathered black on top. I've put some real coal in. Yeah, that's really transformed how that tender looks. I love it. Like just this scene here where you got the coal, you got the guys there. I don't know, that's kind of fun. But yeah, got my DCC chip in it, so it's ready to go. So, like I've said a few other times, we'll take this wonderful little engine into the loft. I'm going to do some running. Honestly, I think it looks great with this background looking good. Yeah, we're all connected up now. I'll get it going. I had a go with it. I need to learn more about DCC CV setting, but even when I just turn that up to 6, whereas the other ones I could turn up to 30, it gets going quite a lot. So please excuse the rough pull away, but I need to do some more learning about what to change to make 6 more like 30, and then like, yeah, so whatever 100 would be on this one, it feels like that would be about 18 or something. Maybe one of you guys could leave me a comment and let me know what I'm obviously not understanding or not doing. But anyway, we'll get him to pull away and we'll go from there. I'm honestly really pleased, and it makes me want to get more of the, let's say, the black liveried locos, because making them look weathered, I used 2 different colours and a tiny bit of the powder work. I was really pleased with it, and they have a certain nice look to it, because when you have the black and you're doing the, let's say, the off black weathering, it picks out all these little highlights. It looks honestly brilliant. Well, for me, I felt it looked brilliant. I looked up a few videos on how to weather, as well as looking up bits and bobs in books, and I spent for a couple of months kind of looking at it, thinking, it's
not for me. Maybe another day. But finally, I've done one. It makes me want to do some of my wagons and bits to go with it. We'll see. I don't want to make everything look, dirty and unkept. But it does give it that kind of authentic feel. So hopefully you've appreciated seeing the video of the Loco go around in its weathered form, and it kind of looks great. I'm really liking it, more like the real thing. So that's basically everything that I was going to talk about in the video. I want to say a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members. You've all been great, very supportive. I'm able to put my videos out earlier, so then my patrons and channel members can watch, and I get some feedback if I've made a mistake. Is always handy, because you watch your own video back, you don't always realise what's happened, and that's where those guys that see it early can let me know and be supportive in the way that they are, which is wonderful. If you don't already know, I have an Instagram channel as well as a Facebook page, which is 00Neil. On Instagram it's _00Neil, but I'm sure if you type in O'Neil it will come up, and I put my kind of projects on that I'm working on at the time, as well as various other things. If you're ever interested, come and have a look, and even subscribe to that, as well as subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment if you like the video. If you'd like to see more of certain things on the railway, please let me know, and hit that like button, because with doing that, I'm doing these videos because I want to share my story, and I also want to grow as a channel, and I like more and more people to have a watch. So click that like button, because it helps the YouTube algorithm kind of help push me reach more people, and hopefully make more people smile when they're watching my videos. Anyway, I'll see you soon. You take care. I'll hopefully be doing a live video on Thursday next week. My plan is to do something every Thursday, be it if I have time. And see you then. Bye.